Darren Lockyer takes the side out tonight. Game 342 for the great man. 7 away now from the record of Menzies and Lamb. And Brisbane looking to match strides with teams like the Dragons and the Storm. That top bracket in the Telstra Premiership, and a former Panther, a St Mary's junior, Peter Wallace, halfback for Brisbane. And maybe with a statement to make to New South Wales selectors who have seemingly forgotten about him. Peter Wallace, a big night for him in the number 7 jumper for Brisbane. And Justin Hodges, that 3-year contract, that will take him up to 31 years of age. They're calling it a lifetime contract. Gee, I think having missed last season through injury, he's probably prolonged his career. I think there's another contract after that one.
He looks very fresh, doesn't he? Although, as Wally pointed out earlier, he has battled a bout of flu during the week along with Darren Lockyer. They were quarantined at certain stages, but both here tonight as the home side make their way out, minus Michael Jennings.
And I know Sivana Siva has been with the Panthers now for a number of seasons, but it must still feel odd for a man who was their Player of the Year 3 times and played 215 matches to come up against Brisbane. But Penrith tonight boosted by the return of Luke Lewis. There is a fair argument to say there's no more valuable player than Lewis to Penrith. Test, Origin, Grand Final winner, so much experience back. Has not played since round 4. Had that wrist surgery. And at the back, Michael Gordon, the man Sterlo believes could be New South Wales fullback when the Origin side is announced on Sunday night. A big game here would certainly help the cause. We are ready for this round 10 clash at Penrith, and the Panthers in desperate need of a win, in desperate need of a good start, and it's not going to come tonight. It's out on the full. One leg planted over the in-goal line. One leg in the field of play. Well done, Ben Hannett. Penalty, centre of halfway. Can you believe it, Sterlo?
Well, how many times have we seen it this year? And it's an indication of how strong that wind is behind the Panthers, but you've just got to make the necessary adjustment. He handled it well, did Ben Hannett. And straight away through Corey Parker, the Broncos on the attack, and offload to Jared Beale. He keeps it going.
So Penrith's night has started in disastrous fashion. Tim Grant ruled out in the warm-up, and now kicking off out on the full. And Brisbane with Kenny already 25 metres away from the Panthers line. Panthers fans are stunned. And now McCulloch bringing it back to the left side. Parker, here's another man who is vying for a recall to State of Origin. No one could deny him that on performance. Now McCulloch wrapped up by Lewis, 10 away from the line. Still a couple of tackles left here for the Broncos as Wallace goes short. He puts pressure on Lewis to come up with another big tackle, and he does that. 2 metres away from the line on Alex Glenn. Last play now. Wallace kicks across field, scrambling back for the Panthers. It bounces in a friendly fashion. Tahu doesn't have to play at it, and Penrith survive an early onslaught.
Yeah, just a touch deep, that one. And just going back to that kickoff, Bossy, it's not just the physical price that you pay coming back to halfway and having the team on the attack. Mentally, you're ready to race down there, belt the opposition, get a good start. Most of the Penrith players didn't realise it had gone dead until they got down to about the 10-metre mark.
Wally Lewis also in commentary tonight with Peter Sterling. And we should get to the sideline to Tim Gilbert. This story with Tim Grant, the night could not have started any worse for the Panthers.
Yeah, evening, Bossy, evening, boys. It was simply him heading off in a drill, a pre-match drill. It's a little cooler here tonight than normal. He's pulled his hamstring. It's the right hamstring. 2 to 3 weeks. They'll need scans. But you remember round 2, same thing happened to Brisbane. Scott Anderson had to pull out. Copley came into the side. That started their dream run. The Panthers fans hope they could get the same result.
Wallace a bomb from 35 metres out. This will bring Beale into the play. He doesn't get near it. Gordon had a challenge at it. Beale has come away with it. And wrapped up by Lewis. Beale has done such a good job at fullback. You forget about Josh Hoffman not being there, the Broncos Player of the Year last season. Now Yao Yi into the play, this time last week making his test debut. He's back on the wing for the Broncos. He falling, getting back to his feet there, but allowed to continue, and the Broncos will attack with Thaiday. Good defence. Good defence from Tahu. Thaiday may have walked off the mark in playing, and now for Parker. And he's 5 short of halfway. Michael Jennings tonight. Centres for Penrith, Tahu and Ty. Now right on halfway. Last tackle again for Thaiday. McCulloch. Lockyer will be the kicker this time. Under pressure from Burns. Dragged him to ground. No dramas with that challenge. Gordon is onto the ball. And Gordon surrounded by Brisbane defenders. Wally Lewis, I'll ask you, in all your illustrious career, did you ever have a teammate pull out at the last moment?
Never. That's extraordinary news. Obviously it gets the confidence down, but I was lucky enough not to ever suffer that.
But these days it happens every second week.
Well, obviously they put a little bit more effort into their warm-ups than the old-time blokes used to.
Take us through it.
Ain't that the truth?
Touch your toes, joggy on the spot. That'll do us. And here's Sivanasiva. Back to the 40-metre line for Penrith. And, Kingston, Ty's got the ball. Kingston played halfback last time we saw Penrith against Brisbane. This is their second meeting for the year. They clashed in round 4. Walsh's second kick of the night. And that is lovely. Hands from Dale Copley. Don't know whether his coach would have been too thrilled, but it was nonchalant as he just reached down to pick it up.
Yeah, he's a talented young man, and that's why they made sure that they got his signature on the contract during the week. Not an easy take. And I have to say, Penrith, they've come back strongly after that early debacle there, kicking the ball dead. A lot of physicality in their defence. They've got good line speed. Well, they've turned up to play tonight, as they should.
A bit of bandaging under the jumper of Sam Thaiday. We got a glimpse of there when he was tackled. Brisbane just outside the 40 and Hodges to play it. Now McCulloch to hand it. Polar Bear head centre field for Brisbane. He's been in good form after an injury-disrupted start to the year, and McCulloch kicks from 45 metres out. A fair bit on it. Touched there by Simmons. Simmons has been the try-scoring ace for Penrith. There's not too many of them this year. Looking through the records of them, there wouldn't be too many sides that reach round 10. Neither of their centres have scored tries. In fact, 3 of their centres, because Jennings is out, Ty's out there tonight, and Purtell comes into the side. Now for Kingston. Penrith fans unhappy with the 10 metres of Brisbane. They're getting off the line very quickly as Purtell was able to offload. He's back to centre field, now 5 inside their own territory. Burns was looking up, Lewis goes for a run. Crowd pretty dirty, I think, on Justin Hodges in particular. He's been lazy in getting back. So last tackle for Penrith. Kingston away to Walsh, and he'll try and place it in the corner. Beale cuts it off. Jared Beale, who tonight, it's an unusual stat, but in first grade experience, he passes his age. There's plenty of Broncos players who are actually older than the number of games they've played in first grade.
I have to agree with the crowd a little bit at the moment. I think that the 10 metres being policed has been fairly ordinary. I know that there's a lot of line speed between both of these defences, but this game's getting a little bit bogged down because there's not enough room between the two teams.
Matt Checken and Phil Haynes, the referees tonight. It's Phil Haynes and the control referee posse at the moment. The boos and jeers of the Eastern stand there as Reid took the run. Now Lockyer very close to the sideline, threading that kick through. And now for Flash Gordon from the back for Penrith. Reid led the chase down there with the captain, and then Thaiday. They cart him back to the 10. So Brisbane showing their effective defence, which they've displayed to us all season. Plum will rush back. That's a good hit up. Back over the 20-metre line. Started in all games this year. Now for Waterhouse, getting it nice and tight. Thaiday there with McCulloch and Lockyer. 38 metres away from the Panthers line. They go very direct. That time they rushed up on Sivanasiva. I think the crowd thought Parker got a head start. Walsh kicks. The crowd's going to be unhappy until a penalty is blown. With the ball, and he's shortened up in that run back. Pays the price for not really coming back with any great venom in his run, and Plum was there to make the tackle. Already one big Brisbane win tonight, and that was in the Toyota Cup. 44 points to 10. Brisbane now looking to go the double as Wallace is rocked and then lost there by Lockyer. Play on for the Panthers. Tahu gets it away to Simmons. Simmons 20 out and back inside for Waterhouse. Crowd can sit down.
And no surprise to see Nigel Plum involved in forcing that mistake. One of the best hitters in the competition. Walsh inside to McKendry.
And McKendry standing but not offloading. Friday over the top. Work down low was from Kenny. This is Kingston. This is Walsh. Walsh hides it up nicely for Gordon. Gordon is wrapped up by Wallace and Reid. Just a couple of metres from the try line now. Ty back for Luke Walsh. Then throws a very flat ball. Sivanasiva did well. Got it away to Burns. Burns is a metre away from the line and tackled by Kenny. Good attack by Penrith. Kingston. Walsh now. Had support. Offloads late to Waterhouse. He'll be wrapped up. And still 2 tackles for Penrith. Again with Walsh. Early ball then for Lewis. Lewis has them in 2 minds. Away to Ty. He'll go for the corner. And the Brisbane defence. It is a brick wall. Copley's there. Reid's there. Wallace is there. Glenn is there. Take your pick.
Well, the Panthers may have been pushed into touch, Vossi, but I'm sure that their coach, Matty Elliott, would be very happy with what he's seen from his team so far. The worst start to a game possible, giving away a penalty to the Broncos, but their control of the football so far has been first class. They haven't turned over any possession to the Broncos, and they seem to be dominating the ruck speed.
That was great footy from both teams. Variety in the Penrith attack to open up space, and some outstanding defence from Brisbane. And not from just the usual suspects. We had Nick Kenny coming up with a try saver on Travis Burns under the posts.
Reid from the scrum. One of the finds of the season. Jack Reid has played every game. Wonderful try last week against the Scorpions. Hodges almost away, but across to make the tackle was Plum. Now for Yao Yi. Oh, Yao Yi collected well. It looked dramatic. I don't know whether there was a great deal to it. It grabbed close to the collar.
Contact's high. High contact.
There's nothing wrong with the challenge really at all. Ollie Lewis?
No, I think that's very unfortunate for the Panthers. It did appear, first contact, that there was something around the neck region, but a slow-mo replay proved that that wasn't the case. It was across the chest.
It's an outstanding hit from Timana Tahu. The second and the third touch still didn't get up too high.
So headed from the restart as Brisbane were given a 30-metre piggyback upfield from that penalty. Now we've got 2 balls out there. Parker's got it here. He's got one of them anyway for Brisbane. 35 out. And now McCulloch and on to Kenny. Shifts it on for Wallace. They keep it going. And a quick play the ball from Glenn. He appeared to work forward at the mark. Doesn't help the Panthers' defence. Now here is Lockyer. Lockyer goes inside for Parker. He's offloaded back for McCulloch. He's done the same for Glenn. Putting pressure on the Panthers. Lewis made the tackle. Now for Reid. Tries to step away from Purtell. Beale is there. Brisbane are 5 metres from the line, and it is the last tackle. The men out on the right want to catch Gerard Yaldi in particular. Here he comes. Up they go. It was just a little too long. Running out. Simmons easily there to defuse it. And 20-minute restart. We didn't get to the line, Simmons, but off they go. Now a penalty for offside. Well, I don't know how it all works there, to be quite honest. I don't know. Like Simmons is coming back. He gets somewhere near the line and off he goes. All
I know is that the crowd here have been baying for one of those for 11 minutes, and finally it came, and it was just an eruption.
Yeah, that was an interesting last set of 6 from the Broncos. They got away more offloads in that set of 6 tackles than they had in the previous 10 minutes of the game. Obviously feeling a little bit more comfortable, but they definitely know they're in a contest here this evening.
Oh, this is lively, no question about it here at Penrith tonight. On Bundaberg Friday Night Football on 9, and Penrith right on halfway. Waterhouse playing it. Kingston on the plum. He's a good hitter, as Sterlo has pointed out. Occasionally the hands let him down, but he's given some pretty good service to the Roosters and Raiders. And now the Panthers, as Kingston goes on to Walsh. Walsh inside for Lewis. He brings a dimension to the game, his return tonight. A far more dangerous side with Lewis in it. Here is Burns. Burns on to Tahu. Tahu's able to offload. Good hand, Sivanasiva. A big bloke. Snatched it out of the air and put a little step on. And we'll play it 25 metres from the line. Kingston on the Walsh, straightens it up nicely for Gordon. Gordon wrapped up by Fireday and Hannett and McCulloch. 12 metres out. 5th tackle, Penrith. Walsh doesn't want to kick. Got it to Lewis. Look at him go, Luke Lewis. He scores. Luke Lewis has opened the scoring here for Penrith. They welcome him back with open arms.
And great decision making there from Luke Walsh, the halfback. Sensed that there was a little bit of an opportunity on the last tackle to the right. Defence not coming up quick and a little sparse. And the right foot step from Luke Lewis straightened and slammed the football down. Good start to this game, and Penrith get the first points.
In some ways, he's heart and soul of Penrith. Local junior. Was around when they won their last premiership, and he was just a kid then. These days, he's a seasoned representative player. Real crowd favourite. Bundaberg, Friday night football here at Penrith, and Luke Lewis, a favourite son, scores the opening try of the night. And he gets us talking Origin. He's played 6 of them. Back from injury in time to be selected. Michael Gordon with a shot for 6-0. So Penrith have managed to come up with a first try. Brisbane had scored the first try in 7 of their 9 games this year. Not tonight. Lewis, Sterlo, New South Wales selectors.
Well, I didn't expect him to be available, so, you know, he's in my side if he pulls up well, I have to say. He was part of the Four Nations Test final team in the second row at the end of last season. So Origin would be no stretch for him as Brisbane get us underway. They haven't conceded many points first half throughout this year. Well, they're chasing McKendry.
Wally, from a Queensland perspective, I would think Queensland wouldn't want to see a player like Luke Lewis.
No, I'm not sure Queenslanders wish him all the worst, but experience can never be replaced in a game of football. He just played of his value to the team there. Fantastic player.
Oh, good
Now
ball,
for
Petra.
Purtell of Sivanasiva. When can you miss it? Penrith playing some of their best footy of the year right now. Kingston got it away, and the momentum is stopped just like that. They were really on a roll, and it was straight through the centre corridor.
Yeah, good on you, Vossi. As soon as you started to wrap them, out came the ball. What about the pass from Petro? Must be getting close to Origin time when you've got Petro Sivanasiva offloading like Arthur Beetson. And unfortunately, it was covered up after a quick play of the ball. It was wrecked by there, a pass, just not finding Purtell cleanly enough.
They have struggled to post tries this year, the Panthers, when you compare it to this time last year. They've only scored 22 tries this season. This time last year, they'd scored 37. State of Origin, it draws ever closer. Wednesday, May 25, live from 7:30. The opener at the spiritual home of Origin. We can call it Lang Park for one night, can't we? Suncorp Stadium. Cannot wait. Now Brisbane with the ball 40 metres away from the line. Hodges with his trademark swerve out of that mark. Makes 10 metres. Brisbane get back into the danger zone again. Lockyer cut out ball. Nice work, Hannett, for Wallace, and then away for Glenn. Much improved footy player, Alex Glenn. Last tackle here for Brisbane. Wallace kicking down a short side this time. Again, not a lot of height to the kick. Gordon is able to get to it. Last 2 kicks from Peter Wallace definitely needed to have a little more oomph to it.
Yeah, misdirected they've been, especially with the expertise that he normally has in his kicking game. A bit surprised that Alex Glenn came back in field on that last play. They opened up something nice on the outside with a little interplay, and it kind of negated it by Glenn coming back in.
Panthers only with 1 win at home this year. That was against Canberra. But good start tonight, 17 gone. Lead by 6 points to 0. And everyone getting involved. Simmons comes in off the wing to take that charge. Kingston and the Walsh kick from just outside the 40. This one will float down to Yao Yi. Now a test player. I think we'll be talking Origin player. Just inside their 30. TAB Sports Bet tonight. Panthers firming on the back of that first try. Broncos still favourites. Let's gamble responsibly. Now Kenny, physiotherapist, up on the front row for Brisbane. Front on there by Plum and Lewis. Here is Hannett. Again, meat of the Panthers forward pack, there to make the tackle. Good stuff, Penrith. Hodges, dummy half run, and 3 in the tackle. Dane Weston ready to come on to make his first appearance in first grade for Penrith. As McCulloch with a dummy, little kick, with a chance to push in the back, I thought, for Burns. He was still able to cover up the footy.
Gee, I thought that last set of 6 tackles was really indicative of the difference between these two teams at the moment. Every time the Panthers have the ball, it's a speedy play the ball. The Broncos are getting it. There's delays there. The players don't seem to know exactly what's on for the next play the ball.
Let's go down to the sideline, Tim Gilbert.
Yeah, Vossi, I know you're a good mate of his. I think I just saw a mirage of Phil Gould. I know he's over at the Bulldogs-Dragons game, but you can feel his presence here, and you can tell that these players have him in their mind. This is the best 20 minutes I've seen from Penrith this year.
Oh, it's a very positive week for them. There's no doubt of that. With the arrival of Gus, he officially starts Monday. I'm telling you, he's already put in 3 days' work. As Walsh's kick came off the back of the Broncos player. They were all not played at.
Not played it.
And Brisbane will get the scrum feed, despite the protesting of the Panthers here.
Yes.
Walsh's kick into Wallace.
And Sam McKendry, the first interchange for the home side, and
Outside again.
might see him get a number of minutes tonight. I thought he was outstanding for New Zealand last week. McKendry,
Nice and
56
tight.
minutes, and
Lock him in.
probably the best 56 we've seen this year. So Matt Elliott will be looking for a big second stint from him as well, as Brisbane win the scrum on their own 40.
Physical run there from Yao Yi. It took a pretty physical tackle to stop him. Now Thaiday let him off the chain there. A bit of a wild man, Sam, when he gets wound up. Parker infield for Hannett, and Penrith looking to make a mark with their hits here, but they need to make sure of that first contact. 39 metres from the line. Brisbane in possession, but trailing by 6 points to 0. We're on to Wallace. We know their second half defence has been superb this year, statistically, Brisbane. Now Lockyer. Hodges got away the first attempt there by Simmons. Beats another one. That was Burns, still in the wrestle. Last tackle 21 metres away from the line. Brisbane. Wallace gets in position to kick. He goes a little higher this time, Peter Wallace. This will be a test. Plenty of Brisbane players there yet. Purtell had it, lost it, play on. Penrith are in possession. Adrian Purtell, the man who saves the day there. Watch it. He gets it cleanly, then a juggle, then it's on the deck. One heart-stopping moment. So no seagull there to pick up the chip. Penrith retained possession. Tahu. Strong run.
It's a really concerted effort tonight by the Panthers to get in behind the play the ball area, in there.
Now Kingston takes off. Look at Kevin Kingston. He had got it in support and then wrapped up 25 metres from the line. The gap opened when Andrew McCulloch sprinted off the line in defence. Now Burns floats into the outside. Lewis again on the last tackle. Quick hands from Ty. Play on for the Panthers. Away to Plum. Nigel Plum's put in a kick. And Beale's able to clean it up. Nigel Plum showing us all the skills. An exciting passage from Penrith. Wally Lewis, you saw it. Andrew McCulloch sprinted up. Kevin Kingston suddenly had the Sydney heads to go through.
Yeah, it was a huge gap that was opened up. It's just a real obvious indication, Vossi, that there's no communication in the Broncos' defence at all. They should have just been staying in the one straight line, dictating terms to their opposition.
Brisbane plenty of credit how they got back, but they covered it. It looked as though Penrith down that right-hand side had numbers. All of a sudden, Broncos players came from everywhere, and that would really disappoint Matt Elliott, giving away a penalty. After all that good work, it's an easy out.
It was an amazing rush off the line on the third tackle.
It's strange, you know. We always point out the most dangerous man out there is the player with the football in his hands. Well, Andrew McCulloch he didn't have any concern at all where the football was. He just had eyes for Petro.
So Brisbane with the ball on halfway. Wallace now. Leonard's the man who will play at 41 metres from the Panthers line. Still 6-0. Luke Lewis, the try scorer for Penrith. Up came Seven-Seaver. He doesn't need to sprint off the line to put on a big shot.
This is good fun, this match.
Brisbane back to Wallace. Left foot kick, high again. Gordon with time. Gordon will take it. Gordon for Penrith, look out if he gets any space. Just outside the 20. Look, he doesn't get him clean, but he makes a statement on Anderson's first hit up for the night.
Didn't get him clean.
Good evening. Well, he doesn't hang on to him. Yeah, it's a good evening and a how do you do, but then he doesn't sit him down at the table. He leaves that to the other waiters. So Ty will play it just outside the 40. Kingston and Weston with a run up to halfway. Former Shark, former Cowboy, now a Panther. Former Burleigh Bear last year. Kingston on to Walsh. Nice play close to the ruck with that inside ball for Purtell. The wingers are making themselves the busiest players on the field for Penrith. Walsh goes very high. Highest kick of the night. Beale times his jump and Jared Beale is ready to run. I mentioned earlier tonight, it's a 21st game for Beale tonight. 20 years of age, that's a good tackle. I mean, that's clean from Plum on Yao-Yi.
Gee, I can't understand how Nigel Plum a couple of seasons ago was rated by his peers as one of the best hitters in the game. Right about that. A couple of bell ringers already, and we've still got an hour to go.
Cully, Anderson with another run, and again Penrith muscle up. Weston over the top, good shot. Last tackle, Brisbane bruised and a little battered. Lockyer tries his luck with a bomb this time. Here comes Yao-Yi, doesn't get it. Simmons has dropped it. Thaide's got a chance. Big step from Sam. A right and a left. He's lost the ball. Can you believe it? Sam Thaiday, they have taken their advantage. He produced a right and a left.
He tried to offload Sam Thaiday. That's why the referee has said he took his advantage. He was put off David Simmons. He tries to get the left arm free here to slip one under, and as he's shaping to pass, the Penrith player on the far side comes in and stops him from doing so. Good refereeing. There was an advantage taken.
Well, isn't it so much better that we redefined the advantage rule? We had that ridiculous rule at one stage where the ball had to go be advanced 10 metres to be taken advantage. Well, you know, Sam's probably run 8 metres there, and you would have said he hasn't taken advantage. Well, he took advantage.
Plenty of us agree that was the worst rule ever introduced. That's common sense. Common sense from the referees, and I think everybody here enjoys it, whether you're a Broncos or Panthers supporter.
Panthers now will go back through the centre. This has been the most telling point of it. They're making most ground straight through the centre. And it is Weston with the ball lifted, but he'll get to the 40. He's done well there, Weston. He was off the ground and he still made another 5 metres.
And that effort also earns his side a penalty. And that's what we've seen plenty of from Penrith tonight, effort. And that's on the back of good attitude, and that's what Matt Elliott needs from his football team. If they're to get out of this hole that they're in, they come off a bye, so they're fresh, but they also come off 3 straight losses.
Penrith with Waterhouse. No one can offloads. Again, so much more dangerous. Waterhouse left, Lewis right. Penrith, totally different proposition. Now Nathan Smith back for them. There's another valuable addition to their side. First game in the top grade this year. Kingston with the ball, 15 out, goes short. Weston was the recipient, just 9 metres away from the line. McCulloch and Anderson in defence. Penrith, Kingston, he has a crack at them. He's got over. Well, he's scored at least 1 try the last 2 times they've played Brisbane. He's made a 3 from 3, Kevin Kingston.
Well, that's excellent work from Kingston, but poor choice from one of the Broncos defenders. Just take a look at it. Scotty Anderson, he was offside at marker. You give away a penalty rather than 4 points, a guaranteed 6 points under the post. That is very poor choice. Smart play from a dummy half.
And he is one of the Queenslanders in the Penrith side. There's a total of 3 tonight. Burns and Sivanasiva, Kingston, the Gold Coast, scores a try. And then they've got Seliuini to come off the bench as well into the dummy half role, so they're well served there. It is a shock scoreline in Bundaberg Friday night football, 12.5 out from half time. 10-0 will become 12 in just a moment, with Michael Gordon to convert the Kingston try.
Which he does. And that try from Kingston, he may have put the football down over the line, but it was on the back of 3 or 4 wonderful charges and the perseverance of Dane Weston to get his side a penalty. You can see there Kevin Kingston, as all the good dummy halves do, saw that there was only one marker who was retreating. So he picked it up and in the end made it look very simple. But it was the lead-up play that got that man over the line.
Restarts play and a floating kick-off. Confusion. Waterhouse. Simmons is onto it. He's back to the field of play. Let's go down to the sideline. Tim Gilbert.
Yeah, it's shades of 2009, Kevin Kingston, isn't it? When Parramatta had that great run, that's the sort of thing he was doing. Seemed a bit out of sorts the last year or so, but he's back tonight.
Kingston with an unknown jumper on his back and Celiuini to come off the bench into that position. At the moment, you'd want to leave him on. That's where you wouldn't want to be too pre-programmed with your interchanges. I don't think Kingston needs a break at the moment. They're 29 metres out from their own line. Just outside their 30, but on top. Penrith lead. Brisbane 12 points to 0. Walsh kicks from inside the 40. Right angle on the kick. Yowye's had a shocker. Yowie tried to trap it on the boot. Well, I don't think he's ever going to represent the Socceroos. He's a kangaroo, not a Socceroo. That wasn't his finest moment. But the Broncos have possession 9 metres out from their own line. And the pressure continues for them, even though they've got the ball in their hand. Hodges with it. He's wrestling. Hodges is now a metre out from the line and Brisbane are being manhandled here. What has Gus done? Has he added something to the water out here? He's a miracle worker. Lockyer with the ball. And he's able to stand offline. No man forward. McCulloch is away. He's up to the 30. Good counter. Brisbane, last tackle. They needed it. Wallace and away to Lockyer. He'll kick deep from inside the 40. Gordon needs to cut it off. He's done it. Oh, he's a superhero, isn't he, Gordon? Then to fold up the cape and stay in from the sideline, though. Here goes Gordon across field. And Hodges and Dotshead. Intensity's been good in this game tonight. It's lively, it's fast. Now Simmons.
I'll ask you a question, Andrew. You watch plenty of football. You're a good judge. Have you seen a better fullback than Michael Gordon this year?
Well, I reckon Nathan Gardner goes as good as him, but he's as injured. This year, just this year alone, Nathan Gardner for the Sharks has got a fair highlights reel. But if you said just this year, Gordon ahead of Hayne, yes. Gordon ahead of Josh Dugan, yes. So if that's your three contenders, there's your argument. But they don't just pick on this year.
I understand that.
Walsh kicks from high, 35 metres out. This one's on Copley. Good take. Gee, that helps. Penrith getting on top, and one of the young Broncos comes up with a play like that. Sunday football, we will see the Sharks against the Roosters. It's the return of Todd Carney. 4 o'clock on Sunday. And don't forget Widewater Sports, Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. Daniel Gill, Anthony Mundine live head-to-head. Not throwing punches, I don't think, but you never know.
Can we get them nose to nose?
That's the idea of it. Like those heavyweights who wouldn't shake hands during the week. Now it's down to Gordon. He's got the ball 8 metres out from his own line. Gordon, he steps away from Wallace. Matt Elliott said at the start of the year he wanted him in a Nathan Blacklock role whenever he played fullback. Bob up anywhere, and that's what he does.
Well, as we see David Simmons take the ball forward, Lachlan Coote is to make his return this weekend for the Windsor Wolves. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Matt Elliott does in coming weeks if Coote is available as well.
Tahu with the ball, just on Gardner. I'd just love to see Gardner around Great Cattle. I think he'd be a sensation. There's Brad Tighe with the ball for Penrith. He's 30 metres away from the Broncos line. Celiuini under Walsh. Walsh passed without looking to Purtell. Got it back to Celiuini. Celiuini on the last tackle.
Handover.
Is held up 10 metres out. What about Penrith? They've found a 5th and a 6th gear.
Oh, wonderful display from the Panthers. The biggest difference between the two teams at the moment is the speed of the play of the ball. Brisbane, when they're defending, are just travelling backwards, waiting for the Panthers to run at them. When the Panthers defend, they're sprinting up at the Broncos, making life as difficult as possible.
Saw there on screen, Gill and Mundine. Widewater Sports, Ken Sutcliffe in the middle of them. Will be trying to separate them. Footy show at 11 with Sterlo, roasted midday, and then Roosters and Sharks. So Brisbane with the ball outside their 30, but trailing by 12 points to 0. 7.5 out from half-time. Broncos scoreless in a half. That hasn't happened this year. Glenn to play it. Last tackle, Brisbane. Wallace, not an attacking kick, he goes long. Gordon will get to it, pulls up nicely for him. Another chance for Gordon to run. Gordon is back to the 10-metre line.
As we come within 7 minutes of half time, I'm sorry, that whilst they are...
Oh, they're away again, Sterling.
No, they've got a penalty against Eustace Shepherd.
Simmons, they've called it obstruction.
I was just about to say, the one thing in the Broncos' favour is that it is only 12 points. Travis Burns there was in the way of Sam Thaiday. All of a sudden we go 12-6, then the momentum changes fairly quickly.
So Brisbane with the ball 5 metres out. Could be a telling moment against Penrith, that obstruction call. This is Dodds with it. Had a good year last year. Quick play the ball for Beale. Fired across there for Wallace. Oh, that made an obstruction against Brisbane. Although I've got to say this, Wallace let the ball go without going around the back of Corey Norman, I think it was. He ended up with a ball. Now Wallace goes short to Dodds. He's 9 metres away from the line. I was happy enough for that one to continue there for Brisbane. Now Beale to Wallace, tries to thread it through. He's got it back. Wallace has scored. Peter Wallace, a St Mary's junior, with a huge slice of luck on the kick through. 12 points to 4.
And we come back to the decision against the Penrith team, working it out from their own end. Peter Wallace kicks it in. It's played at by Dane Weston. The rebound was a good one, fell into his path. And Peter Wallace, who followed through. And all of a sudden we look like being 12-6.
Well, they love him in Brisbane, Peter Wallace, and plenty up there myth that he's not under consideration for New South Wales. Perhaps he is. Perhaps Ricky hasn't shown his hand, but one would think that the likes of Pearce and Mullen are ahead of him. He has played for City in the past, didn't get a look in last Friday night. They gave Pearce the shot, even though his form had been questionable this year. First try of the night for Brisbane to a player who said he grew up hating Queenslanders. Peter Wallace from St Mary's, now the number 7 for Brisbane. And scoring that try, 5 out from the break. And over to Corey Parker to get it to 12 points to 6. Penrith, it's some big minutes coming up to half-time here. So much good work in this first half could go by the wayside if they slacken off here. 12-6, 4 to go. Wally Lewis.
When you said he grew up hating Queenslanders, Vossi, I think that may be in the case, but there's plenty of Queenslanders that love him at the moment. I think there's only one reason he passed that ball originally, just 2 tackles earlier, because he knew that he'd run a Shepherd play in behind. If he hadn't have, he would have been penalised. Broncos wouldn't have 6 points on the board.
Well, Wally even said he specifically hated the Broncos because they were Queenslanders. That's what he was taught out here in the West, to hate the Broncos because they're Queenslanders.
Pretty common feeling.
So now Anderson with the ball. It's just funny how football can work. He finds himself playing for the Broncos. And now the ball with young David Haller out there for Brisbane. Look at the size of this young kid. Injury prevented him last year from advancing on his one first-grade appearance back in 2009. But he's got some size, he's got some aggression. And as I say, some vital minutes here for Penrith. They'll come up with the ball. Walsh with it. 3.5 out from the break. Got a few field goal kickers, Penrith too. It might enter their minds somewhere up to half-time if they get a chance. Seliuini goes into dummy half, 30 metres out from the line. Burns goes short to Waterhouse. Almost put the ball in his pocket there, Travis Burns. He was that close. Seliuini, Walsh, 20 out. Again, short pass. Weston, legs picked up by Haller. Finished off by Thaiday and also Beale. Penrith, 20 metres from the line. Walsh keeps it going for Lewis. Lewis does the same for Ty. Got it away for Purtell. And he's wrapped up low by Glenn. Penrith with Gordon, 15 from the line. They'll try their luck. Crossfield kick from Walsh. They'll come down 5 metres out. Up went Simmons. Up went Yao. Comes down for Penrith. They should score with Simmons. He didn't get a good pass. Simmons kept it alive somehow. Oh, the try is butchered. The try is butchered, if not murdered, on on the line, the Panthers. Simmons, a miraculous ball, and Nathan Smith in his first game for the year couldn't get a handle on it.
Was that 6 points on a plate that was spilt there? Oh, that was a certain try. It looked like the Broncos had stopped everything. A golden opportunity. Just slips away.
It's really a double whammy against Nathan Smith. If he throws a better pass to Simmons, Simmons scores in the corner, but it was rushed, it was high, and then he drops the return ball. And Brisbane hang on at 12-6. Reid has got it. Let's go down to the sideline, Tim Gilbert.
Yeah, a bit of a nervous moment for Ben Hannant. He's got a bit of a problem with the back of his leg around that hamstring area. So I'll let you take the Broncos.
Oh, back to the 40. And Penrith with 90 seconds to half-time. Lockyer got it away to Parker. Parker is, oh, great ball! What an offload! Got it to Corey Norman! What a pass from Corey Parker! 5 minutes from the line, Lockyer, he'll get the kick through. Here comes Wallace again, and Burns has saved the day.
Brandon, where do you want me to go?
Burns latches onto the ball with a superb dive. Look at Parker's ball here, round the back. Artie Beetson, thank you. And Corey Norman in support. Tim Gilbert's sideline. We're enjoying the game up here and the fans are getting into it.
Oh, yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful feeling down here. Good atmosphere. Not a great crowd, but a great atmosphere. Just on Ben Hannant, he's just been doing a bit of a fitness test. He's running quite freely, but, yeah, he said the back of his leg feels weird. I don't know what that quite means.
They got their entire starting front row on the bench now, Brisbane. The 8, the 9 and the 10. As the line drop out, fielded by Lockyer. Brisbane will get the last chance to score points in this half. Anderson is hit by Saliuini and Plum. Sounds like a nice dish, actually. Now the ball for Haller. He's 25 metres away from the line. Watch this. Saliuini low, Plum over the top. Now Lockyer to Thaiday. Thaiday wrapped up well by Burns. 15 from the line. Hodges is with it. Hodges across field, watch for the straighten up. Hodges doesn't do any of that. He just says, I'm down, oh no. Hodges may have done the hamstring. He's had troubles from day one this year with a hammy coming back, of course, from the ruptured Achilles tendon. And Hodges is pulled up here. And straight away, all his teammates concerned. Watch it again, Hodges across. And what an unfortunate moment. He played his 11th Test match last Friday night. He was set to add to his Origin tally of 11 games. But now Justin Hodges, he knows a bit about hamstrings. And he'll be able to tell the trainer and Alfie Langer out there right now, if he's able to continue, one would think, no, night over. It's not something that'll come good quickly. And then, of course, you're talking about degree of tear. It'll be something Tim Gilbert will chase at half-time. But that is a sorry sight here at Penrith tonight, with one of the real stars of our game. His entire year, 2010, was written off by injury. Now as he's recaptured his best form, and with Origin just around the corner, Hodges is off and Brisbane have the ball. They keep it alive for Lockyer. Lockyer got it away to Norman. Norman out to Yayi. Yayi able to pass it back inside. Parker with the ball. Parker has scored for Brisbane. With a siren sounding in the background, Corey Parker has scored for the Broncos. Now in all of that, I had to check. I'm sure they only had the 13 on the field. Hodges hadn't come off and they hadn't put the replacement on. That would be dramatic. And doing a quick head count, yes, there's only 12 out there for Brisbane. But Yaoyi, action in the corner. They couldn't get him down. Parker onto the ball and somehow Parker with strength has scored. And what an incredible first half of football. Penrith has been the better side and it could be 12 all in a moment. And it wasn't poor defence. They just couldn't lock up the ball, but they got there in numbers. What a bittersweet end of the half for Brisbane. Hodges limps up the tunnel. Moments later, they get their second try. Corey Parker comes up with it in a half where he's made 14 tackles, 11 hit-ups. He's got a try, and now he's going for 2 from 2. So for a 12-all scoreline and one of the best 40 minutes of the year. Stay with us for the second half. It's Parker, square up, off the boot from Parker, off the post. 12 points to 10 at half-time in Bundaberg Friday night football.
All right, that looks set, mate.
Friday night footy here at Penrith, and a 2-point ball game. Broncos trail the Panthers, who going into tonight, well, they've had a wretched time of it. In fact, they kicked out on the full to start the night, but going into round 10, 15th on the ladder, just 2 wins from 8 matches. But they were the better side in the first half. And saw their 12-point lead reduced to 2, and you've got to remember, Nathan Smith bombed a try, a certain try. Minutes out from half-time as well. Could have been 18-6. Not to be. Now Siliuini. Offloading. Wingers have been involved tonight. Simmons and Purtell, they've worked hard. Siliuini away to Walsh. Mixed his game up tonight, which has been good. Nathan Smith with it. 40 metres out. Last tackle for Penrith. Tackler was Corey Parker, getting through plenty of work as always. Walsh's kick back to centre field. Yao Yi has it well and truly covered. Yao Yi will play it 15 metres out from his own line. Corey Norman now. Now Beale on the Copley. Just outside the 30. Tim Gilbert has the latest news on Justin Hodges, Tim. It's a big story for plenty of reasons.
Oh, it's a huge story, isn't it? A bittersweet finish to that first half. Well, this is the latest. Basically, what we've heard that Justin Hodges felt the tear in his hamstring. Now, it's pretty hard to diagnose exactly what's wrong with the hamstring till it cools down and they get scans, but it looks like a tear. He won't be back tonight, and he won't be back for several weeks, and the Origin campaign in grave doubt after missing all year to that Achilles. He's pretty cranky.
Yeah, in different grades of tear, and if it's on the major scale, it can be the entire series, not just Origin 1, which for the players worked so hard to get back. And as I said, going to halftime, one of the real stars of our game.
And for the rest of this game, Alex Glenn has gone to right centre, occupying the spot vacated by Justin Hodges. So they had some versatility. He's played a lot of first-grade football in that position, as Nigel Plum has been very good tonight. Makes some good metres again up the middle of that ruck.
And they're playing Corey Norman at fullback, and Jared Beale at the moment is playing up in the back row for Brisbane, as Penrith with Walsh kicking from outside the 30. He's got the right height on this one. Copley has got it again, and then he's smashed by Lewis, and they'll say mid-air, but it was big, the shot by Lewis. There would have only been centimetres in it. He's not about to pull out from it. He could have said, well, he got one leg planted.
Gee, that's very close. And look, you know, we have to protect the ball taker, and that's what the referee has endeavoured to do there. And Luke Lewis, in walking back, actually apologised to Corey Parker, saying, sorry, mate, I didn't mean to nail your teammate illegally, if I did.
By the same token, not about to crucify the referee. If he's a fraction of a second out there, he has to make that call on the spot. Check and ruled penalty. It's a good shot, though. Good shot from Lewis. He's done plenty tonight to say he's ready for Origin. Played by Haller. Here is Lockyer on to Thaiday. Plenty of energy needed from Penrith to start this second half. They need to try to raise the thoughts of that last 5 in the first half. They've done so well for 35 minutes. Away to Wallace here off an offload from Parker. Last tackle for Brisbane. Corey Norman, a dummy half. Lockyer will bomb here. Darren Lockyer's kick. This is pressure for Gordon. Reader's getting through. Gordon, good take. Sterlo's man. Sterlo's man at the back. Lovely catch. Brad Tye.
The first try in this second half, as we see another take from Michael Gordon there, never took his eyes off the football. First try, monumental in this game. If Brisbane get in front, then they're going to be very, very tough to run down after trailing by 12. But if Penrith can kickstart again and get that self-belief, this will help. Luke Walsh from the penalty finds touch inside the opposing half. So They'll start their set of 6 here in good position.
And the crowd is playing their role tonight as well. It's that tribal feel, football in the suburbs, and the Panthers fans have rallied tonight. Now, Lockyer was appealing. There's one of those drop balls from Nigel Plum.
He actually juggled it in the run, Boss, and I was about to say to you that you mentioned his hands earlier. Well, he's hung on to that one, and unfortunately, once he'd been tackled, it must have popped out. There it goes, and into the defensive player before it hit the ground.
He was quick to play it. Maybe they didn't see it. He just thought, well, just grab that and play that, and then maybe they won't notice it.
Don't you laugh. You were very good at
Yes.
Yeah, you. Lewis.
Wally enjoyed that play from Nigel Plum. Here's Corey Norman. Stunning debut he made last year, round 1. Remember the night, 3 try-saving tackles from fullback. Now short pass, Lockyer going inside there for Anderson. He's 35 metres out from the Penrith line. Beale at dummy half, proving his versatility tonight. Now Hennett, wrapped up low down by Weston, over the top by Celiuidi. They creep up inside the 30 now. Wallace has got the ball. Lovely flat ball to Parker. Walsh hops on his back, rides him for 10 metres. Here is Norman. Norman's pass to no one. Reid will go back for it. It's last tackle Brisbane. Reid, I don't think knows that. That's a changeover.
Here's 10.
Where you are.
Here's
Corey,
10.
give him the ball.
Been too many mistakes on last tackle plays from Brisbane this year, but you've seen one there. To Penrith's credit, they come away with the ball. 12 sleeps, by the way, the State of Origin #1. Sadly, we get reminded about it through the injury of Hodges, but 12 sleeps, May 25, live from 7:30 on the home of Rugby League, Channel 9.
And just a bit of concern out there for Michael Gordon. The trainer's been out there looking at the right hip. Just a bit inhibited as he makes his way back in behind his attacking team. There's Nathan Smith, nice and tight with that run.
We leave last week aside. The second half defensive stats of Brisbane are something to behold this year. That's what Penrith have to overcome. As Plum locks the ball up under the wing that time, up to the 40. Last tackle for the Panthers. Kingston is back out there. Searching kick from Walsh for the sideline, and we'll have a scrum pack down around about 11 metres out.
Well, that kick may surprise some people. They expected the ball to go high into the air, create even more pressure for the Broncos back 3, but I think it's a good play. It's ensuring that they're restarting the play from a scrum. I'll be in total control of the defensive pattern after the first tackle, and they will be placing enormous pressure on Brisbane's attack.
I agree with you, Wally. I think they've mixed their game up, as you pointed out, Vossi. Much better tonight. There's no predictability about it. They've run the football on the last. They've changed their kicking game. I think they've only put up 2 bombs all night. They might only see another couple, and that's keeping Brisbane guessing as they work it out through Friday on to what looks like Alex Glenn on the right fringe.
Just outside the 20. I'll give you a curly one, Sterlo. If Penrith are to win tonight, what do you think a winning score will be to beat Brisbane? Can you predict that? As Thaiday is able to offload, got it back to Lockyer. The old legs of Darren Lockyer, get him up over halfway, now inside the 40. And they're there to rally. Kingston was back in cover. Brisbane will keep the roll on with Yao Yi, although he gets shortened up again by Plum. 23 metres out from the line. You've got some thinking time for that score, Sterlo.
Michael Gordon in real trouble out there with that hit.
Lockyer away to Wallace. Good ball to Anderson. Now on the deck, off the feet. And Plummer's back there for it. So if Penrith win, how many points do they need, Sterlo?
Well, 1 will be enough. But you want to score line, do you?
I do. I just think they've got to get to 20. I think they've got to get another couple of tries.
Well, they'd be happy with 12-10, but I think that Brisbane will get on the scoreboard in this second half. So, yes, there's probably another 2 tries needed by Penrith. Adrian Purtell does his bit coming in off the wing. Good offload.
Penrith now got it away, and Walsh has put the foot down. Have a look at him go. Gordon's in support. What injury. What a recovery. It's Lazarus-like. Gordon, he was written off by the stewards. He was declared a non-runner. And then he's just scored a try, running 50 metres in support at top speed.
I might have overstated the injury, but look, there's the grimace on his face. He's not comfortable out there, but very happy to have loomed up on the inside. Wonderful offload there from Adrian Purtell. That caught everybody by surprise, but most importantly, the Brisbane defence. Clean pair of heels there from Luke Walsh, who positioned his runner back on the inside. Where all the good fullbacks back up, straight up the middle under the posts.
Oh boy, Michael Gordon inconvenienced, but there when it really counted. And Luke Walsh is having a night for Penrith. 3 tries to 2, but the lead will be 8 in a matter of moments. Lewis, Kingston, Gordon for Penrith the tries. Wallace and Parker for the Broncos. Gordon shooting for 3 from 3. Bundaberg Friday Night Football on 9, and Penrith have opened the lead back up to 6, and it's about to be 8. The man who made his origin debut game 3 of last year's series scores the try. Michael Gordon, outstanding in its construction. Luke Walsh showed great speed. Gordon converts. He'll limp back. 18 points to 10. 29 to go.
And last week, Broncos coach Anthony Griffin said the only thing that didn't that cost them the match against the Melbourne Storm was valuable mistakes. That happened once again here this evening. A turnover on the 6th tackle from Jack Reed provided the opportunity for the Panthers, and they didn't waste it at all. Fantastic completion of the play from Michael Gordon. Plenty of pressure on the Broncos now without Justin Hodges.
Yep.
Lockyer restarts play.
Thank you.
And it'll come down right beside the upright. So Penrith, with Gus, his arrival just around the corner. They turn on the footy tonight. Tim Gilbert sideline.
This is a scoreline that Brisbane beat Penrith in the first time they met up there at Suncorp Stadium. But that second phase play, that support play from Penrith, that's why they finished second in the 26 rounds last year. We haven't seen it all year.
Weston will play it just outside the 30. Kingston, and he goes short with Lewis. His presence has lifted this side tonight. His contribution has been very good. Here is Plum making up for his error.
And the other bloke who deserves a big rap at the moment is Matt Elliott. He's prepared his team beautifully as we see Luke Walsh get the football into touch again. There's the man. We know he's leaving at the end of the season. But he had a bye weekend to work with most of his players. He had 3 players involved in rep footy last Friday night. And they've come with a good game plan, but most importantly with a good attitude.
The boys at TAB Sportsbet quick to react to the Hodges injury and Tim Gilbert's report that it's a tear. They've drifted Queensland out from $1.40 to $1.45 just based on the Hodges injury. 1-3-3-9-0. Gamble responsibly. Down to State of Origin. Brisbane in possession with Glenn.
Again, with 28 minutes to go in this game, a little bit under. It's not a big scoreline. They're well and truly capable of scoring the necessary points here, Brisbane. It's all about possession and maintaining pressure where possible. That's Ben Hannett. Again, good defence meeting him on his own 30-metre line.
It's bordering on game over if you could have taken out that 5 minutes before half-time. And Penrith bombing that try, it could have been an 18-point lead right at the moment. Here is Lockyer and Ben Hannett. Missed attempt at a big tackle there from Weston it was. 5 minutes inside their own half. Last tackle, Lockyer's under a bit of pressure. They ran up, the pass is loose, it's still the last. Bill's got it, he steadies and he gets his kick away and he will find touch. Not a bad result from Jared Beale under enormous pressure.
Well, Petro Civoniceva raced at Darren Lockyer, but fortunately for Penrith and for Petro, he was covered up on his inside. So when Lockyer straightened to go, he actually went into a Penrith defender. If he hadn't have been there, he was in trouble. Civoniceva well out of the line, but as he straightens, he's taken side on. It may have been Kevin Kingston, and that was a key tackle. And eventually they were able to find touch with an alternate kicker.
Keep it in, Jack. Kevin, keep it in.
Scrum packing down 30 metres out from the Penrith line. Bundaberg Friday Night Football and Purtell with a run. Panthers have managed to get Sam McKendry back out there now for his second stint in the game as Civoniceva goes on another hit up. One lovely offload in the first half from Petro, promoted an attacking raid for the Panthers. It is a sweet win for him tonight. Waterhouse is offloaded, not with great precision, it must be said. Penrith going backwards. Plum is tackled there, just inside the 40 by Hannett. Panthers with Lewis. Crossfield, he's put on a good fend. Luke Lewis, he's got the hand free. Got it to tie. Classy play by a classy player in Luke Lewis. Now Burns and across to Walsh. Walsh beats it on. Siva turns sideways, can't offload. And that is tackle 5. As Thaiday made another tackle for Brisbane, his 30th of the night. And now kick through from Walsh. She wants it to pull up. It's going to pull up. Norman's got it. Norman is over the dead ball line. Isn't Luke Walsh having a night for Penrith?
Well, that's what you need from your halves or your playmakers, to come up with the right plays at the right time, and that's late in the tackle count. The kick could not have been any better, got into the in-goal area, but deep into the in-goal area, making it virtually impossible for Brisbane to run it back into the field of play.
It's not unlike the night Sando had against the Sharks a few weeks back for the Rabbitohs. Every kick has been good from Luke Walsh. Now he's got the Broncos pin.
I know he's having a wow of a game, and so are a number of other players. To me, just about the best player out there has been Nigel Plum. They've won this defensively, and he's been the backbone of that.
Siva plays it on 1 on the 30-metre line. Now McKendry.
They're winning this at the moment. There's still plenty of time to go.
20 away now. And a quick play the ball for Kingston. Kingston wants another 10. Crowd unhappy with the Broncos rushing defence. The ball has been lost. And Brisbane have the ball, and then I don't know what's going on there for the play the ball. There were 3 men to play it, or 3 dummy halves and 3 markers there for a moment. They got it sorted out. 24 minutes to go in the match. Brisbane are on their 30. Trailing by 8 points and trying to avoid back-to-back losses after that tremendous run of 7 straight. Now 15 inside their own half. Quick play the ball by Parker. Now from Wallace to Reid. Reid will get them to halfway. That is the end of the count. 1 to go. Lockyer shifts to the short side. Wallace kicks from the open. And kicks but doesn't find the grass. Gordon is onto it. He'll battle on with this injury. Michael Gordon. Look out again. Flash Gordon. He's past a tie. Ties away from Reid. Oh, Michael Gordon. He is playing under duress. Well, maybe he is the New South Wales fullback. What a player. And he sets up Brad Tighe for his first try of the year. And the margin has jumped out to 12.
The hips cause him all sorts of problems. I don't think I'll ever get a medical certificate, but what we've seen so often from him, he runs the ball back so strongly, puts his body on the line, bursts through some defenders there, including a couple of front rowers, and then positioned a real speedster in Brad Tighe. Jack Reid couldn't put it with him. And most importantly with this try, he's improved the position. They lead by 12, but with a conversion successful, would be outside 2 converted tries.
Brad Tighe comes up with the 4-pointer for Penrith. Said at the start of the night, they're 2 regular centres. There would be, well, I don't know how many teams would have their 2 centres by round 10 not score a 4-pointer, but that had been the case for Brad Tighe and their usual left centre in Michael Jennings. No 4-pointers between them. Tighe's just broken the drought tonight. And Penrith have 4 tries. Well, Michael Gordon is about to attempt a conversion of the Brad Tighe try. The lead will be 14. Wally Lewis, we're about to see what Brisbane have. They came back twice last week against Melbourne without getting the job done. But they're up against more than just the opposition tonight. This crowd is into the game. And Penrith are playing with so much confidence.
They're under pressure for one of the first times this season. They don't seem all that stable at the moment, but there's only one way that they're going to come back into this game. They need leadership, and Lockie and Peter Wallace are going to have to work pretty hard.
And Gordon nails the kick. Biggest lead of the night at one stage, first half led by 12. Now the lead is 14. Now there's only 21 to go. And as we watch the work of Michael Gordon again, see the New South Wales fullback for you, Wally.
Well, he certainly hasn't done anything wrong here tonight. If he is the New South Wales fullback, I hope that hip injury gets a little bit worse as the game progresses.
Tongue-in-cheek, of course. Tim Gilbert, I saw you walk over and have a quick chat with Justin Hodges.
Yeah, I did. I had a chat with him, and I asked him would he come on the microphone, and obviously he wasn't keen to do that, but we asked him anyway. I got on very well with Justin. He's pretty upset. I asked him about the hamstring. He said, look, mate, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks at least, but he's obviously trying to be positive with that. Torn hamstrings, as you mentioned before, can be multiple numbers of weeks, but yeah, pretty upset. Big news for Queensland, for people just turning on, that Justin Hodges has torn his hamstring tonight and almost definitely out for the first Origin and possibly the series.
So Penrith, and they get this roll line straight up the middle, and the fans are loving it. Another big power set from Penrith. Seven-a-Seaver, follow me, 35 years of age against my old club. He inspires the Panthers, and now the last tackle 40 metres out. Kingston to Walsh. Walsh again mixing his game up so well. Lewis away to Ty. Ty kicks back infield. Norman gets across to it, and he's squashed by Kingston. Kevin Kingston hammers Corey Norman.
Well, again, it's variety. Ran the football on the last tackle until they ran out of room. Brad Ty came up with a lovely kick back towards the centre of the field, and Kevin Kingston, it would have been easy for him to stay back in the middle of the field, but he chased just in case to get the result.
That's a great kick and chase, but I think they've also got to pay homage to the 5 tackles prior to that. They made 65 metres in just 5 plays. That's dominant.
They're on the run here, Brisbane. This is a huge set. Penrith can really drive it home here. Simmons with the ball, 24-10. And Brisbane, they are in desperate need of a Panthers error. Seven-a-Seaver, another charge from Big Petro. 10 metres out from the line. Lifted up at the finish by Kenny. Slows the play, the ball down. Now Kingston, away to Plum. Plum shows the ball. Nice tackle by Parker. 5 metres away. Kingston, he got one in the first half. Now gets it away to Walsh. Build up is good here from Penrith. Out the back to Gordon. Gordon got a pass away. And Tahu has scored for Penrith. Wow, what about this? What has Gus done? What has he done?
Well, they were never going to stop Tamana Tahu. He was like an express train coming back on the inside. But again, good lead-up play. There was precision in the passing. Everybody knew where they needed to be. Kevin Kingston got them wide with the initial pass. And then Michael Gordon going across field, attract the defenders over.
Did last year, Penrith, where they wore the pink against Manly, their attack was as good as any side in the competition. If you're a Penrith fan, you're thrilled with this, but you're also terribly confused, Wally. You've watched the first 9 rounds and wondered, well, what's going on?
Where has it been? Where has it been all season? That was a first-class execution of a set play. They were in position 2 tackles prior to that. It was just an opportunity for them to take one more Broncos defender to their left-hand side. So when the Panthers swung it, they were attacking some pretty limited defence. Enormous confidence on board the Panthers tonight.
Well, this is for 30 points to 10. Believe it or not, 17 to go. One of the best defences in the league. And he misses the kick, so 28 to 10 it is.
Yeah, it's that hit. And Tamana Tahu, he'll be delighted with that. He came back slowly for Penrith. He was actually used in the back row coming off the bench. And with Michael Jennings out, he slotted back into the centre position. And tonight, that was very good. That was the Tamana Tahu of old running onto the football.
Yeah, no surprise. That was the right-hand side. That's where Justin Hodges would have been standing.
So Penrith back from the kick-off. And McKendry with the ball. It's an amazing tally of tries for Tahu. Think what you like of the events surrounding Tahu over the last few seasons, but that try takes his career tally to 110. Pretty handy player if you can achieve those sort of numbers. He's at Penrith, he's playing for his future. Now Waterhouse. Some talk of Tahu heading back to Newcastle. Penrith have the ball outside the 30. Yeah, this is Seven-a-Seaver, this time passes short of the line. Purtell, I said early in the first half. Wingers busy, and they've continued in the second half. Purtell and Simmons, contributions across the board here for Penrith. Sivanasiva gets them up to halfway, last tackle. And now you'll see Walsh put his kicking game. No, goes inside to Purtell. They're confident. Ball is on the deck. And last tackle, it's still play on. And now Brisbane come up with it. That'll be a 0 tackle. So Reid away, and Norman's with the ball. Needless to say, if they're to come back, they need to score the first of those comeback tries in quick time. Sharks and Roosters on Sunday down at Toyota Stadium. I think there's a big crowd there for the Sharkies. They've had some wet old night games this year. Let's hope the weather gods are kind to them this Sunday. And Todd Carney's comeback game for the Roosters. 35 metres out from the line. Brisbane for Wallace. Wallace goes short there for Kenny. And upended by Lewis, Sivanasiva and McKendry. Last tackle, Brisbane. Here is Wallace. He'll try a short kick. Well, you can say not played at, but he got himself in the way.
I've called you out. You continued on your run.
There you go. Phil Haynes there, the referee, ruling penalty Brisbane.
Wait. Yes.
What's the explanation?
The explanation is I said to Kevin Kingston, you're offside, you've gone early. He continued on his run. He affected the play there. It's a penalty.
Oh, well done, Petro. He's just given his team an extra 15 seconds to prepare in defence.
No, we don't. Wait. You'll wait. You'll wait. You're offside. Go back there now. Go.
Now Sivanasiva, I agree with Matt Checken there. Sivanasiva can't question that penalty. You don't need an explanation for offside inside the 10. And now Petro's gone to the bin. Well, the chat kept going and another penalty conceded. Now it's either for repeated infringements or it's for back chat. We would have to establish that.
You're going for
but it's 3 quick penalties.
Parker's gone as well.
I don't believe this. Is it Wallace going to the bin as well?
Enough. Now go.
Peter Wallace. Corey Parker.
Mate, I've been around long enough to know that you won't take it to me. Now go.
So Corey Parker's got to go to the bin to follow Petro Sivanasiva. Well, that's extraordinary. Referee Matt Checken has resented something that was said and has reacted, and we're down 12 versus 12. Lockyer's got the ball. Norman now. Norman with a step. Doesn't offload. 5 away. Sterlo and Wally will try and give us some explanation of what happened there in a short space of time. Beale gets it to Lockyer. Lockyer onto Glenn. Taken over the top by McKendry. 10 from the line. McCulloch back to the right. Norman to Thaiday. Thaiday can't offload. 28-10, 28-16 it could be with 14 to go. McCulloch on the last tackle's held up. It'll be a changeover. Now, Sterlo, please explain.
I'm not sure if I can. With Sivanasiva, I think it's probably a combination of repeated infringements and maybe something that he said. He didn't make much effort to get back onside that second time, and in that situation down there, it's almost a professional foul. I hope that Matt Checken has got it right with Corey Parker. Corey said to the referee, I can say whatever I like to my players. And the referee said, I've been round long enough to know that that's not where it was aimed. So I hope that he hasn't put 2 and 2 together, Matt, and come up with 5.
It's Penrith now back with the ball at 28-10. And now Tahu is off with injury for Penrith. That's out the back as Walsh has got it. There's a chance to run. That's what they do. Lewis is held. Olgie kicks out 2 in the tackle. Crowd again get lively here. It's a good old days at Penrith. They'll be wearing brown and white jumpers under Phil Gould soon. Now Jared Beale, or rather Corey Norman with the ball.
I'm going to be very interested to find out what the referee has to say as to why both of them were marched. Like what basically the charge is, I suppose, for want of a better word.
And I get the argument every time, well, it's 10 minutes off. Yeah. It's a long, long time.
Yeah, Sterlo hit the nail on the head there. I mean, he could have even been saying it to one of the Panthers players, unless it was indicated to the referee directly. I don't think he can make that decision.
Penalty now goes the way of Brisbane.
Back in with the head.
Another one. And Matt Checken is in the control referee seat again. 28-10, 12 to go, but it's so tense at the moment. It's as if it was one try the difference. No one's going home early here tonight. Kenny has bounced away from Burns. Travis trying to punch above his weight there, figuratively speaking. Now here is Lockyer. He can't offload. 39 metres away from the line. Now the ball with McCulloch on the Thaiday. Thaiday is inside the 30. Brisbane probably thinking they need to score here in this set. Lockyer. Peter Wallace with the ball. Wallace, and then Norman gets the ball away to Copley. Copley, nice step, got him past Ty. 15 metres from the line, and that is tackle number 4. Norman, now for Wallace. Wallace straightens up the attack, dummy to Glenn, then offloads. Norman gets the loose ball. Norman 20 metres out, he needs direction, and he takes on the defence. They just couldn't regroup quick enough there and attack Brisbane to attack a broken line. Last tackle, Wallace, Lockyer, 10 out. Thaiday, good ball, but the defence is good. Simmons off the wing.
6 and change, where you are.
Oh, that's excellent defence from the Penrith Panthers. The play prior to that one there, I thought was wonderful common sense from them. There was an opportunity for Brisbane to go on the attack. The line was busted, but they didn't panic, didn't race out of alignment. They just simply stayed where they were and let Brisbane run the ball to them.
We are led to believe that Corey Parker was sent for a break after swearing, and it can only be that the referee believes, well, he's certain, that it was aimed at him.
Let's go down to Tim Gilbert.
I want to start a petition tonight. Bring back the 5-minute sin bin. That was ridiculous to see 2 blokes leave the field for 10 minutes for that series of events. We've got something here, Peter, an injury.
Yeah, this is Gordon again. We don't know if this is going to be knee.
I don't think it's the hip.
He reacted as soon as he was falling in between the tacklers here. You'll see it as he shapes the pass there. That's very reminiscent of what we saw from Sam Burgess.
We'll take a break with Gordon down in Bundaberg. Friday Night Football on 9 at 28-10. Still down and with the trainer, but getting some movement. But it's painful. It's painful for every Panther supporter watching too. What a good player he is. Well, he's better than good. He's above average. Michael Gordon. 17 carries of the football tonight. One of those a try. 18 points the difference with 10 to go. And right at the moment, the trainer still with Michael Gordon, fullback for Penrith. He's on a fair run in Friday Night Football. His last 7 Friday night games, he's got a tally of 96 points. Michael Gordon. Penrith will soak up the time here. And, in the meantime, Brisbane, and we're still coming to grips with all that happened with Parker and with Sivanasiva. Well, now got a chance to replay what happened. Have a look and a listen.
You keep it.
Was penalty number 2. I'm checking within his rights to say to Sivanasiva, I don't have to give you an explanation. The Sivanasiva, they get him for offside again.
Wait, Peter, wait.
And now Corey Parker's called out here. Well, you just wonder about all of that. I mean, what would Parker have any reason to have a crack at the referee when you just got 3 straight penalties?
You'd be expecting Corey Parker to leave the referee alone so they could restart play as quickly as possible rather than abusing for handing his team a penalty.
Michael Gordon leaving the field as Luke Walsh kicks down into the corner again as Norman Fields takes it across. We will also get a report from Tim just on Tamana Tahu, who we saw leave the field a little bit earlier. I don't know whether that's just...
Oh, ball's come loose there from Reed. They've called it a knock on. Well, Penrith will have a scrum feed 15 metres out with 9.5 to go. Gordon, his night is over here, but I've got to say he's moving a bit freer now. Now we've got Darren Lockyer down. Can you believe this? Lockyer is down, having been hit there by Travis Burns in the tackle. I'm not suggesting anything wrong with it at all, but Lockyer is the worse for wear. This is a drama-charged night.
Now, I think I saw an interchange card held up there when Gordon was coming off with a 10 on it. So again, we'll just check that as to whether the Panthers now are in a situation where they can't put anyone else out. Yeah, there it is there. So the Broncos still have one up their sleeve. The Panthers threw their full complement. This is Lockyer with Travis Burns coming over the top, just landed awkwardly on the shoulder, arm. He's back up, ready to go.
Brisbane tried to get away with having one extra man out of the scrum there. Friday was called into it late, so Penrith looking to finish Brisbane off now. Brad Tighe with the ball. This is the team running 15th. Penrith leading Brisbane by 18. And Nathan Smith with it. He's inside the 10. The Penrith Panthers, what a great week for them. Looking to finish it right off. The ball hits the deck. I think it was Yleen Gordon. Brisbane have possession. So Broncos, just a thread they hang on to into this game. 8.5 minutes. Lockyer. He tries to flood it over the top. Pertel. Oh, he's had 4 cracks at it. And I reckon he knocked it back. That should be play on. It is. Walsh got it away to Smith. That was the juggle to Endor juggles from Adrian Pertel. Here he goes, he's on his way to the line, then he's juggling it back towards his own goal line. You don't see many of them. 15 out from the line. Kingston in a dummy half. Crowders up again here at Penrith at Gus Gould Stadium. Walsh with the ball. Walsh drifts across, got it away to Burns. Burns with a pass and Beale was across there. The pass has ended up in the hands of Tighe. Well, hang on, isn't he the right centre? Tighe's gone over for the try on the left side. Yeah, and Penrith, what a night for them.
Yleen Gordon actually playing over there in left centre position at the moment. They're all over the place. But a very similar setup to the try we saw scored previous to this, with Kevin Kingston running a long way, opening up play to the left. Now, Michael Gordon was normally there, but it was Travis Burns who took the football across. And a lovely last pass here from Luke Lewis to Brad Tighe, who's a real finisher. He was at Newcastle, he has been at Penrith. And this is quite a victory for Penrith. They've only won one of their 4 games here at Centrebet Stadium this season. We'll put this down to number 2, and there'll be a few more fans next time they go around on what they've seen.
And Vossi, until tonight, Brisbane had a bit of a record of defending pretty well in the second 40-minute period. That's gone out the window here. Perhaps their coach will be quite happy with it. He knows that they've certainly got to reassess the situation at the moment. But let's not take it away from the Panthers. They have been first class in the execution of their plays tonight in what is a fairly slippery surface out there.
Well, boys, I've got to say, it looks the real deal. I know you can get carried away with a performance, but it looks the real thing from Penrith.
Yeah, look, based on one performance, that's the problem. They've got to do it again next week and the week after and week after that. And look, every now and then you can have a blowout. Every side will have a blowout. We saw Melbourne get caned by North Queensland earlier this year, as Luke Walsh just puts it to the left of the post. And once the game gets away on you, then every side is capable of running up a scoreline.
But the basics that they've put this win on tonight, there's no reason why you couldn't replicate that over any number of weeks and be successful with it.
Well, Matt Elliott has told us all along, I know what this team is capable of. I know we're going to get better. Well, they have tonight. And they've put a line in the sand now, because this is what they've got to base every performance on. They've got to come out. This was all about intensity and attitude and effort early in this game, and they've got points on the board on the back of that. But now they've got to do it next week.
Well, the margin is out to 22 points, just by the by. Their biggest ever win, their biggest winning margin against Brisbane is 26 points, and that was way back in 2004 when they won 46-20. Brisbane had won 7 of the last 8, or in fact 6 of the last 7 against Penrith. Penrith hadn't beaten Brisbane here since 2005 going into tonight. All of those sort of stats condemned to history right now. Smith with the ball, that's Nathan Smith.
Now, Yleen Gordon has moved back into the forwards. We've got Luke Lewis left centre, Brad Tighe left wing, Luke Walsh kicking for touch beautifully. We've got Nathan Smith at right centre. And we've got 12 aside.
Walsh, great control. Matt Elliott down to the sideline. Let's go down to Tim Gilbert. There's so much to update, Tim.
Yeah, the update I can give you at the moment is Michael Gordon's being tested on his knee at the moment, getting an ACL test. Now, the anterior cruciate problem is the biggest problem any knee can have. That'd be his season if that was the case. But they're obviously hoping that there is just a bit of a strain there. Now, with Tamana Tahu, it's a pec muscle injury. He'll need more scans there.
What about the conversation in the tunnel between Corey Parker and Petro? Corey's probably said, what did you get sin bin for? He said, I don't know. Petro said to Corey, what did you get sin bin for? I don't know. All the teammates. Sivanasiva's out there. Parker is out there. Now we're back to 13 on 13, but the game is gone at 32 to 10. The 76-minute mark. Brisbane next week will have the bye going into Origin, and Penrith to play the Tigers at Campbelltown next Saturday night. In a lot better shape than what they were going into round 10. Now Walsh has got it away to Simmons. You know, if I'm Gus Gould, I quit on Monday. I walk in, I hand in my resignation and say, my job's done. I'll go on to another club now. You're back in form.
I know that's had an effect, but I don't think we're giving enough credit to Matt Elliott as well. He's prepared his football side beautifully tonight. They followed it to a tee. They've attacked him behind the ruck early. He's done a great job as well, so please don't overlook that. Sivanasiva
just completing his 15th hit-up of the night, and now away with Weston. He's enjoyed his first night for Penrith in the top grade. 21 tackles, 12 hit-ups for Dane Weston. Solid contribution. Kingston away to Walsh. Walsh away to Burns. Burns cuts it out, finds Plum. He's put his second kick in of the night, and then they'll come on. Nigel Plum, and then great tie for a hat-trick. Plum has put the kick in, and I think it might have hit Plum's bum, if you don't mind me saying, in scoring.
I've watched Nigel Plum play a lot during his career. I've never seen him kick twice, let alone in the same game. He's a former Wagga Kangaroo. That's why I love him. And he's had a great game tonight. Has he set up a try for somebody with his
But the deflection, I think, comes off him in the in goal. You watch Nigel Plum's involvement.
Well, he puts it through, left foot. Easy done. Gets it in the in goal area, just where you want it. Corey Norman comes across, juggles it. Nigel's dived. I don't know if he's got anywhere near it, has he, Nigel? He's dived.
Oh, well, he was somewhere there. Look, he's there. There, watch it. Hits his back and up into Ty's arms. If it doesn't hit his back, it might have gone touching goal.
Well, the referees wanted to have a look to see whether Corey Norman has actually grounded this football. In watching Nigel Plum, I must admit I wasn't looking at the hands of Corey. So we'll go back and have a look and see if he has got any. There's Corey coming across. Was that just...
That's a falcon. That's off the leg. Yeah, off the leg. Accidental offside. There, off the leg of Ty into the back of Plum. It's not your principality, King, but Wally Lewis, I don't think you can give that a try.
I just want
Ty's leg here.
Yeah,
it
definitely
off
some
the
contact
leg into Plum.
back into Plum. That's accidental offside.
Exactly right. Yeah. Thank goodness the game doesn't depend on it. There will be no try against Penrith, and that's a shame for Nigel. I don't know if he's got time to get a third one in before we pull up stumps.
Oh boy, what a night here. And the crowd's not going to like this, but no trust the decision.
It's a 20-metre restart, boys. It was accidental offside because it hit a player in the back who was in front.
Wait, Peter. Wait for him
Explained
to
to
get
the
set
Panthers
down.
there. So the score remains 32 to 10. Nigel Plum, 31 tackles, 16 hit-ups, 2 kicks, try assist. What can't he do? Here's Parker. He's offloaded. Lockyer's got it. Lockyer on the thigh. Friday straight up over the 40-metre line. What a carry. Lockyer can't gather it in. Nor can Penrith. But they will knock on against the Brisbane Broncos with 2 minutes to go. This is impressive, getting Sam out on the edge like that.
Well, he stood up Travis Burns there. They beat him off the mark on the outside.
Bit of a concern for the Broncos. Lockie's holding that shoulder. I don't think Mal would be receiving this too well at all. He had a little bit of problem with his wrist 5 or 6 minutes ago, and I thought it might have been a good idea to just simply rest him. There's no way in the world Brisbane were going to win it, but he is struggling.
Yeah, he's wincing there. He really felt it. Darren Lockyer. This is a huge night. I mean, talk about turn things on their head. Lockyer, if they used the 10th, you'd be getting him straight off, wouldn't you? In fact, such is his value. I mean, you'd play with 12, wouldn't you?
Well, if you're Penrith, you run at him.
So Penrith have possession. 90 seconds to go. Their best night of the year. It'll be only their 3rd win of the season. And it comes off a bye. McKendry loses the ball, then gives the referee. Oh, hang on a sec.
Clear the ruck.
Late decision.
Walk back
Clear
through,
mate. Came from the pocket ref, I'd reckon. The instruction to Phil Haynes for not clearing the ruck. That's a 50-50 call.
No,
That one.
that's
Maybe you
tough.
say that.
Yeah, they did their best. There's got to be an understanding of the effort put in by. Sometimes they're not going to get back. They couldn't have done any better.
Panthers chant resounding here at Centrebet Stadium. It's heartwarming. Matt Elliott will be loving the moment. And his players, back it goes. Simmons gets the ball away. Can Ty get his hat trick? He almost did. Can Plum get a 3rd kick? Those questions to be answered in the final minute. As Weston throws it up in the air, batted along. McKendry got the ball, was able to pass it away, and Purtell flicks it out the back. The fence coming back onside, I thought. But they're saying tackle was made early by Alex Glenn.
Corey.
Penalty to Penrith. Well, the anticlimax would be go for goal here. Crowd want another try. And it's that sort of night. They're going to roll the dice. Good on him. Sivanasiva takes a run at them. 5 metres away. They are set left here in a big way. And the Broncos look short. That's the side Lockyer's defending. It's back to Walsh. He's going to go to field goal. Well, that's strange. You're not back to 2 and go for the 1. Maths isn't their strong suit, but there you go.
So they gave it to Petro for a settler.
Yes, to set up for the field goal. What a night.
Oh, it's a funny game.
See, the saying is winners, they can just do what they like. It used to be losers can do what they like, winners can smile, but tonight winners can smile and do what they like, and that's what they've done. 33-10 is the scoreline here at Penrith. Broncos back-to-back defeats, and the Panthers have been awoken from a slumber.